Colin, hello and welcome to the third episode of This Mummer Runs podcast. I'm very excited to have you on. Thank you for joining me.
No, pleasure. Thank you for asking me. How you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad.
Good.
Currently on dad duty whilst my wife's out, so I've got one eye on you and another eye on a smaller monitor with someone fast asleep.
Oh, bless. The joys of parenting, eh?
Oh yes.
Firstly, how is the injury?
Yeah, well, I had an X-ray yesterday, so it's not a fracture or anything. If anyone doesn't know, it's my foot. Hurt it in the backyard ultra at the start of the month. So, yeah, that either leaves tendon or ligament. So I don't know what would be worse, whether a stress fracture that's 6 to 8 weeks and you're back on it, or tendon or ligament, and no. So no running until the 1st of April. I'm going to try it again, and
Okay.
just cross training at the moment. Boring.
Deep joy.
Not enjoying it. Yeah.
Yeah, but like I say, rest is the best.
That is true. Something I try to stress to you quite often, but it seems to go over your head sometimes.
Absolutely. Ask you a question, but that question has left my head. Right. For anybody out there that doesn't know, Colin is my coach. Colin took me on in November.
Yep.
Was it November? November, and we started with 10K. I wanted to run a fast 10K, to which Colin coached me to. And I ran that in, tell me, Coach Colin.
It was sub 50. I can't remember the exact time.
Sub 50.
I can't remember my own. I can't remember my own PB, so I'm not going to remember anyone else's.
So Colin coached me to my sub 50 10K in November, and I've done that on New Year's Eve. So, and going from that, Colin is coaching me. Well, coached me towards the backyard ultra that we both done at Rasselbach in Sherwood Pines at the beginning of March. And now Colin is coaching me towards the lap in May. And then Colin is going. So Colin, you've got a lot of coaching happening over the next.
I've got a lot of work to do. I've got a lot of plan writing to do, haven't I?
You sure do, absolutely. Colin is known as Colin is
trail running dude.
Trail running dude _coaching on Instagram. Like I said in my intro, if you don't follow Colin and you want to know more about him, head over to Instagram and give him a follow, because he does put tips up there. But yeah, so let's talk all things training, Colin.
Yeah,
excited?
Cool.
So
far away. What do you want to know?
What? Well, you go. You tell us. You're the coach.
Well, I wasn't expecting that. I mean,
how did you get into coaching?
Well, since I got into running, apart from probably a 6-month period, I've always coached myself, and I've just had an interest in it. I've read books, listened to podcasts, watched videos, read studies, all sorts. Anything I can sort of get my hands on, I've sort of digested it. I've tried different methods, on myself, sort of heart rate training, pace training, effort based, all sorts. And I enjoy it. I enjoy figuring out what I need to do to get me, through a race. I'm not an elite runner at all. I don't class myself as that. I'm not particularly quick, by the quick standards, but I've done all right. I've placed well in races. I've won a couple of races. I enjoy it. I like figuring out. It's a puzzle at the end of the day, and absolutely. I like figuring out for myself. And when it comes to coaching other people, I mean, at the end of the day, you're very complimentary towards me on Instagram, which is lovely. But at the end of the day, it's you guys who do the work. You know, I just write, I just put down, I just write a plan out for you. Hope you read it properly, as we've had a few instances of that recently.
What do you mean by that?
That you don't read the bloody plan.
Hold on one second.
And then try and blame it on me.
It was once, and that was on Monday. I had just finished. Okay, you allowed the tiredness, okay? I thought... All right, for anybody that doesn't know, there was no planned run for me on Monday, but Monday just gone, but I got up on Monday morning, got into my running gear, sat at the table, drank my salt water like I always do, then checked the plan to realize, no, there was nothing planned for me that day. So I went back to bed for an hour.
Yeah. You're welcome.
I should have went out for a walk.
No.
Yeah, okay.
You did the right thing going back to bed.
Rule number 1, check the plan.
Yep. That is, have a look the night before what you're doing. That's
absolutely. All right then. Fuck.
But yeah, I just like having a small hand in helping people, you know, achieve things. I think probably another thing I like about coaching is the catch-ups you have with people.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I insist on having a catch-up with people I coach at least once a month, just to talk things through. But it's good to have interaction throughout the month. You know, obviously we message each other quite a bit anyway.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So yeah, I just enjoy it. You know, I'm very passionate about running, and yeah, it's just something I enjoy doing.
So how long have you been running for?
Probably around 5 years. In terms of sort of training, probably goes back to probably 2017, seriously training. I'd always done something leading up to that, whether it be sort of football or just row stuff in the gym, things like that. Probably let that slip, but then before my first son was born, I kind of wanted to make a bit of a change and lead by example. So he saw, you know, his dad working out. So then in 2017, I bought just a load of gym equipment, kitted out my garage. So that is my gym. I don't go to a commercial gym. I'm lucky enough to have everything at home.
Yeah.
Started just training, just doing cardio, lifting weights. Then saw something called the Wolf Run, which is an obstacle course race. Did that, and I was hooked. Sort of then did more and more obstacle course races. Then started to get into the long, hurty stuff, which is typically what I do now. Basically.
The big ultras.
Yeah. Well, the medium ones. I'm yet to do the big ones. Yeah.
The baby ultras.
Yeah, the baby ultras.
No,
the baby
oh my
ultras.
God, should not say that. There is nothing baby about a 50k ultra.
No, there's not. It's
bloody hell.
I think it becomes relative though. I think once you've done it, a 50k, it's like if I said to you that I run a half marathon tomorrow, you're at the stage where it's like, yeah, okay, that's a training run.
Yeah.
So
it sounds terrible to say just a half marathon.
Yeah, it does.
I've fallen into that trap a couple of times where I say just a half marathon, but when you run just a half marathon and it is a training run, it does become just a half marathon, just 13 miles, and that is terrible to say that.
But the thing is, I think it just shows the dedication you put into it. You know,
yeah.
You're not going to be able to go out and run a half marathon whenever you want straight away. It's going to take you however long, let's say a year, 18 months of consistent running to get to that stage. But someone who is literally just bought their first pair of trainers and going out, a mile can feel like an ultra to them. So
absolutely,
you know, I think I certainly do, when I say just a half marathon, I don't mean it in a derogatory sense at all.
Yeah.
it's purely just my, perception of that time it takes to do it.
To do it. Yeah, 100%.
A half marathon run is a 2 hour long run. At the end of the day, that's I'm most likely going to cover roughly that distance in 2 hours, running at a reasonable effort. So yeah, each of their own. Some people are quite happy getting to a half marathon stage and sticking to that. Great,
and stick it.
Crack on with it. I'm one of these people. I'm not really interested in chasing times. I'd rather chase distance.
100%.
Yeah.
With you on that one.
Yeah.
Very good. So what's your next? Obviously you have your injury.
Yeah.
And you're resting at the minute, but what have you got planned? Obviously I know what you have planned, but
yeah, so I've got the lap in May, which at the moment I'm still going to aim to do. I think kind of like the time and sort of that I was hoping to do that in is probably gone now because I've missed too much training. I won't be able to put in too much of a training block. So that's just to enjoy. That's really a bucket list race for me. I've been waiting to do that for years. But because I was climbing mountains in the area, I put it off until the very end. So yeah, I just want to enjoy that. Whether I have to walk it, fine, I'll walk it.
Just enjoy the day out.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't particularly care how long it takes me. I'm in the Lake District, so I might as well enjoy myself.
Exactly.
After that, I've got the Serpent Trail 100k, which if I can't do what I want to do at the lap, I'm probably going to try and put in a good solid effort for that. So sort of swapping them around. Serpent Trail initially was just going to be go out and do it because it seems like a good race. I've got a friend who's done it. So touch wood, that'll be a good effort. Try and set a decent time for that. And then
when's that happening?
September, that is in July.
Right. Okay.
That one is. So I've got a bit of time for that one. And then in September, I've got a 100 miler. A proper 100 miler this time, not a backyard ultra, so I can run this one on my terms, how I want to run it, and I can attack a little bit more than you can't really attack a backyard ultra. You survive it, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a mental state, a backyard ultra.
Yeah. Well, I think any 100 miler is a mental state. I think you've got to be mental to sign up for it. The look the doctor gave me the other day when he said, "How when did you hate your leg?" I was running a race. What was it? A marathon? No. And sort of told him how far I'd ran, and instantly he was like, "Oh, bloody hell!"
No, people can't when you do speak to people and you tell them what you've been at and how far you've run. People, unless you're doing it, they don't have a concept of it. They're just like, oh, bloody hell, I couldn't do that. I'm like, well, yeah, you could. But they just don't have a concept of the distance that you're doing on your feet or the time.
That's right. But you know what? I prefer that to if someone said, I did a race, what did you do? I did a marathon. And there is the question is, what time did you do it in?
Yeah, what time did you do it in? Yeah.
Who cares? I've finished a marathon. Who cares?
Yeah.
I hate that question. Like what time you did it in. So I think that's why I prefer trails and the ultras, because you don't get that question.
Yeah.
You normally get the Jesus Christ, the why are you some sort of psychopath look.
Yeah,
which
exactly. What's wrong with you?
Oh, plenty. There's plenty wrong with me. But
I know.
yeah, you do actually. So, but yeah, I think that's what's probably led me to the ultras and obstacle course racing, trail running. I've never done a road race. It doesn't. Never say never, but it doesn't appeal to me at the moment. I'm sure one day I'll want to go out and try and set, have a proper
PB on a marathon, on a road marathon.
Yeah, but at the moment,
what time did you run it in?
Exactly. But I'll take the view at the moment.
That question.
Yes, but I'm surrounded by roads. So I can go out and do a road marathon whenever I wanted, and train up to it. So why pay for it? So yeah.
True. Right.
My races.
So let's talk training blocks then. in regards to ultras and things like that. So you have set me. This is going to sound terrible. When you train me, so when you set me these plans, I don't look at them and think to myself, I mean, obviously they're very important, but when when I'm doing my training plan, I don't. How can I put it? When I was deloading that week before the backyard ultra, I didn't realize I knew my training volume had fallen down to below what it was.
Yeah.
But maybe it's just me, and I still don't have a full understanding of like hard training blocks. I just do it because I enjoy doing it, and you're setting them for me. So yeah, obviously they must be benefiting me, and obviously they are benefiting me doing what I've just done. So you know, yeah, like you. Oh, what am I trying to say here?
How do you build one? Is that what you're trying to get
How
at?
do you build a training block for somebody like me? I mean, you know me and Garmin, I am absolutely useless. Useless. But so for someone like me who is, because I still class myself very much as a novice runner, definitely a novice ultra runner, how do you build a training block for someone like me? How do you decide what would suit me best, or suit Susan next door best, or Greg down the street?
Well, to begin with, it's all personalised. So first of all, you look at the start of the block, the running history of that individual. You know, what have they done in the past? How long have they been running for? What's their sort of average time or average mileage? Do they strength train? How much time have they got available each week? That's always a big factor, because we're not professional athletes. You know, we've got to fit this in around work, family, kids. When I say
attitude
professional
of an
athlete,
elite.
hey, attitude of elite. Do you get the paycheck of an elite and get to
a friggin' wish?
Yeah, exactly. Well, to be fair, you probably don't for most trail runners that are professionals. They don't earn that much. But yeah, so first of all, you got to look at the individual, and then you need to look at the other end of the process at what it is you want to do. So, for example, you know, someone who's say training for a 50 miler, they're going to train pretty a bit differently to someone doing, you know, a marathon, for argument's sake. It's double the distance to begin with. So you have to start looking like that. I mean, and then the actual nuts and bolts of it is pretty simple. Sort of 2 to 3 times a week, you do something hard. Yeah. The rest of the time, you do easy, or you rest. In a nutshell, that's kind of how you structure it. A training block you mentioned, typically that's an 8-week cycle. That is the human
even
body.
going into like an ultra. Surely not.
No, but you can have multiple blocks of training leading into an ultra.
Yeah.
You know, could you go from couch to running 50k? I'm sure there are people that have and done it in 8 weeks.
Probably.
I'd be worried about something bad happening with that happening. So yeah, but you got to bear in mind what you're training for the lap for. That was started in January. That was, you know, you might not have known it at the time, but I was putting stuff in there for the lap because I knew that's what you wanted to do. The backyard ultra stuff, we were slipping that in as well, like, you know, the hiking on the treadmill and things like that. So you complete. Yeah, but you knew exactly why it was in there on race day.
When I was on that backyard ultra, I knew exactly. Plodding up that hill, head down, looking at the ground, and you walking beside me saying, "Now, do you know why I was putting the incline hikes in?" Yes, Colin. Now I know why you were putting the incline hikes in.
Yeah, and you hated saying that. I could tell you hated
saying that.
Yeah.
And I hate you in every minute I'm doing those incline hikes. But yes, they absolutely paid off.
Yeah. But the thing is, though, that's another thing I don't think people would think of, unless you're at the real sharp end of the spear. No matter what ultra you're doing, you're not going to be running every step of it.
No
You
way.
know, with all the, I've done quite a few ultras now, and I can hand on heart say there has been one that I have run every step of the way for it, and that hurt. That really hurt. That did, and that was purely just because the course allowed me to do it.
Yeah.
Any significant incline, a lot of the time you're going to be walking it. So why don't you train that?
Exactly.
But yeah, in a nutshell, that's how I structure it. I don't, as you know, I don't do heart rate training. I don't train to pace. I'm not saying they don't work, because they do.
Yeah.
I personally I don't like it myself.
Yeah.
So every workout you get, I've done. I never put a workout in that I've not done before. So
yeah.
So that's why I train to effort.
So that's what we're going to talk about, training to effort. That's how you train me, training to effort, which I much prefer, because before I started training with you, I would have always, not that I had ever trained, I just went out normally myself and ran and kept checking my watch and seeing what pace I was doing and seeing where my heart rate was and things like that. And you become obsessed, you become a slave to your watch then. You do become obsessed looking at your watch. So you started training me to effort. So for anybody out there that doesn't know what training to effort is, will you explain it to them?
Yeah, so basically it's called RPE training, so rate of perceived exertion. So in a nutshell, there is a scale that you can go from sort of like 1 to 10. But basically, like, sort of the 0 of that scale is, you're sitting on the sofa chilling out, you're alive, sort of thing. 1 to 2 is easy. 3 to 4, again, a bit easier, but you're starting to move a little bit. You feel you're breathing, and you go so on and so on. It's all based on how you feel, particularly your breathing. I mean, the easiest way to do it is, if you can have a conversation. If when you're running, you could ring me and we could have a conversation. That's an easy effort.
Yeah, an easy one. Yeah.
If you're running like a bear is chasing you, that's a hard effort because you're sprinting. So that's how you do it. And what I like about that is the weather obviously can affect it, but it's all relative. It's an internal thing. Whereas if you train by heart rate, if it's boiling hot outside, you're probably 10 beats a minute straight away, higher than you would be. So you have to factor that in. Or if it's cold, all these things. So it's just simpler. I like to keep things simple. I don't want to start trying to work out what my heart rate is for, if you want to do threshold or VO2 max. So I don't want you to try and work that out. And also, if you don't have a heart rate monitor and you're going by your watch, all due respect, watch heart rate data is garbage.
It's crap. It's not accurate at all. Not at all.
And I wear a heart rate monitor when I run, but I look at it after I've done it.
Yeah.
Or occasionally on an easy run, I might have a cursory glance at it, just to double check things.
Just to see.
Whenever I'm doing something hard, I do not look at it at all. I'll look at it after, when I'm finished.
Absolutely. Okay, so that was RPE running, which I do really much prefer. I do. We want to say much prefer. I have nothing to compare it to other than what I did do myself back before you started training me. But before we continue, just had a bit of a Barkley marathon update. So Jasmine's still out on course, and she's out there with Damien, John Kelly, Jared Campbell, and Sebastian. I'm not even going to attempt to try and pronounce his surname again.
Yeah.
That one. Is she going to do it, Colin?
I really hope so. I mean, at the end of the day, even if she came in over the 60-hour limit, as far as I'm concerned, she's won.
Yeah, 100%. She's made history anyway.
She already had with what she did. She's done at various other races. I mean, she was record holder of the spine for a long time, and and that was with, I think she was expressing milk at the checkpoints.
She
And
was.
having seen what that can do to a woman, the amount of energy just doing that,
Yeah.
Crazy. Fair play to her.
Yeah, as a woman, it takes a lot, to do that and then go ahead and do bloody hell, do what she's doing. What a woman. I think I have a bit of a girl crush on her.
Add her to your list. Add her to your list.
To my list, absolutely. No, but these women are amazing. No, this is what I aspire to be.
Go for it. Go for it.
Maybe by the time I'm 60, and I'll have that massive training block.
Hey, I mean, just look at, I don't know how old Nikki Spinks is, but she's still
she's
going
amazing.
strong.
She's in her 60s. She's unbelievable.
The thing is, though, with just funny you say that, because with ultra running, I think that there is a higher percentage of women that finish the ultras compared to men.
Yeah. Okay.
If you put down, obviously, I think more men do it.
Yeah.
So
100%.
That might have something to do with it. But women are so much better at just managing themselves. I mean, we're stupid. Like, we are. Like, when me and my mates get together, we're idiots.
Dum-dums.
Oh, I mean, and that's putting it nicely. We are a bunch of delinquent idiots. But yeah, women are so much better at managing themselves and looking after themselves than men, just making good decisions. Men, we don't make good decisions. We really don't.
Look at Sarah Perry. Sarah Perry done the backyard ultra at Rasselbach that we done. She ran that solo. She had no crew. She managed herself. I was talking to her, and I had said that she asked her, did she need any help? She was like, oh no, I'm fine. Like, what a woman.
Yeah.
She's amazing. Her and her and Jasmine are like two of my heroes. As ultra runners, women ultra runners go, they're outstanding. Like, oh yeah, I could gush about them all day.
Yeah.
But they are, though, and it's like you say, men. I think ultra running is dominated. It's by men, and the disparity between men and women but more women are getting into it. More women are getting into it.
Yeah.
Which is really, really good. Right. Anyway, so that was RPE running. Back to what we were talking about, RPE running.
Yeah.
So probably starting to train me. Or, well, like you say, my training block started with the lap back in January. So what's next on the list? What's training?
What, for the lap?
For me? Just
put it this way, there's going to be hill work, long runs, strength training. That's going to be the main focus.
Just all the good stuff.
Yeah, easy running, just to get that cruise speed, or keep that cruise speed that you've got. Just get the conditioning ready for the hills. Get your nutrition right. Obviously, there's only so much I can help you with that, but keep on encouraging you to practice that. Find out what works. Practice with, like I said, the mountain fuel, because that will be there on the day.
Yeah.
Get used to it.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, at the end of the day, the fitness you've got now, you can go and do the lap. 100%. You can go and do it. But give it, what is it? 6-7 weeks away, something like that. This will just solidify that fitness that you've got. So, like I said, I know that if it was in 3 weeks' time, you could be on that start line and you would get through it. Like, I just know you would.
Oh, I
would
get
100%. Through it in a respectable time. Yeah, but you'd get through it in a respectable time, is what I'm saying. So, it wouldn't be a case of you're, dragging yourself over that finish line at the 24-hour cutoff mark. I know that you wouldn't do that.
No.
Because I've seen I see all the info from your runs and seeing you firsthand at Rasselbach. So So yeah, this is just fine tuning it. What we're doing now.
Fucking hell, Colin! Did you just give me a compliment?
Kind of, yeah. That's it. I'll save the abuse for WhatsApp when you do something stupid.
Right, for anybody listening as well or watching this on YouTube, I do have a tendency to bitch. Bitch about my training and bitch about Colin.
Yep.
It's what gets me through, okay?
At the end of the day, if I don't get an F word once a week, I know you haven't had a good week's training. So
if I don't drop the F bomb,
yeah.
you're texting me going, Aaron, what's wrong?
What's wrong now?
Oh God. Right, okay. Talk about now we've just talked about the RPE training, and this happened to me this week. The fatigue aspect of running an ultra, coming off the back of hard training and having your rest week, because this week I have felt very lost. I haven't felt myself, and obviously your training does have an impact on you mentally. 100% it has an impact on you mentally, but physically, oh my God, for the last week I've felt just so exhausted. I haven't felt myself. But then I always, for the three ultras, two backyard ultras, that's my fourth ultra that I've done.
Yes, it is.
Was my fourth ultra. Oh my God, I thought, bloody hell.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Anyway, so coming off the back of big runs like that, because they are big runs. 50 kilometers is a big run. But then again, the backyard ultra that we just done was almost 50 miles, which I'm very proud of. How far did you get in that backyard ultra? For anybody that doesn't know,
I did 75 miles.
There you go, 75 miles. How did you deal with the fatigue aspect of it, or did you suffer from fatigue afterwards? Because you tend to recover quite quickly after doing races like that.
Yeah, I do recover quite quickly. I mean, don't get me wrong, I was hurting. The next day, I picked up an injury from it, but whenever I've done a big effort like that, yeah, I'm sore the next day, but not sore enough that I can't move around. And I'm a big believer in movement is better than nothing.
Oh God, 100%.
If I'm honest, if I thought you would do it, I would actually write a week off for you after you've done an ultra for you personally. But I know for a fact you won't do it.
I won't do that.
That's why I'm very strict with sort of, the extra rest day, the hiking on the treadmill, the going for a walk, the easy run, just because I know you're going to want to do it because mentally you want to get out there, which is better than you sitting at home, going insane,
vegetating,
pretty stressing Gary out, the poor bloke. So yeah, it's kind of, you get to know your clients as well. Like there's other people that I could say you're taking a week off. If you want to do something, go out for a walk. That's it. That is that's your limiter. But I know for a fact you would just ignore me and go out and run anyway. So I might as well try and control that a little bit. But you are going to be tired. I'm tired when I've done it, and it takes a while for you to get back up to it. I mean, last year I did a Spartan Ultra, but then the weekend after I tried to go out and set an FKT, and Jesus, the second half of that FKT, I was really feeling it because I was not recovered from it. So at the end of the day, when you run long distance, anything I'd say over a marathon and above, you're going to be fatigued, no matter how fit you are, because the fitter you are doesn't make it easier for you. It just means you can tolerate the pain a bit more. That's what I believe. So yeah, just it's managing your clients. Like I said, I know for a fact if I wrote down you're not doing anything for a week,
I would ignore you.
yeah, you sneak out. You know,
I wouldn't record it.
well,
Actually, I
I don't know if
probably
you
would
know that
record it
part,
in the
or you would just ignore me for a week.
block you on WhatsApp.
Yeah, but like I said, I am a big believer in. I believe in movement rather than sitting on the sofa. There's a time and a place for sitting on the sofa. I mean, even now I've got an injured foot, but I'm still exercising. I'm still going
Being
for a
active.
walk. I'm still cross training.
Yeah.
I can still do strength training, so I'm
Yeah.
still doing something, even if I've got a niggle. So
Yeah.
and
Absolutely.
end of the day, we're designed to move, and unfortunately, we're in a society where we do this a lot. We
Yeah.
sit down a lot,
And
which is awful for you.
it's awful. It's so awful, and it's accepted to
Yeah.
be just not doing anything. We're designed to be outside, and it's only in the last few years that I have really learned that we need to be outside. We need to be in sunlight. We need to be in natural light. We need to be in air. We're not designed
Yeah.
to be in boxes, to work in boxes, to drive in boxes. Literally, it's a square. Life is a square.
But just
That's why
think,
I love being in the
just
mountains.
yeah. But you mentioned driving, and if you had a car and you just left it on your drive for 6 months, you come to drive it, chances are it's probably not going to start because the battery would have gone flat or something. The oil would have got something. I'm not a mechanic, so that's about my car analogy's done.
Yeah,
But you think about doing that with your body. If you don't use it and just get things turning over, what's going to happen? You're going to lose it. So
it'll stop working. 100%.
yeah.
100%. Okay, so right, that's fatigue, but the feeling of being lost. Have you
Mm-hmm.
ever experienced that feeling before? No, when it's how could I describe that feeling to somebody that doesn't understand? Whenever you finish like a massive race like that, two, for example, me, two massive races, backyard ultra, heading into Centurion. I, for the last week as well, as being so tired, I felt lost. As like, oh, I was like, well, what now? I mean, I know I have another race coming up in like you say, 8 weeks. But it's just it is a feeling of lostness. And how do you even describe something like that?
I'd say it's post-race blues because it's something you've been
Yeah,
looking forward to for so long, and
and you've
you've
been
done it.
building towards it.
You've had that massive endorphin rush, and what goes up must come down at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
Have I ever felt it? Not in terms of a race, no. But probably the only time I've come close is when I finished the Wainwrights. But then I
Yeah,
very quickly moved on to what's my next challenge, sort
yeah,
of multi-year challenge going to be. So that's probably the closest I've ever come to that. But no, in terms of races wise, I can be quite sort of departmentalized. Sort of like, right, that's
yeah.
over now. On to the next one. Now
What's the next one?
in my head I can move on to it quite quickly.
Yeah. Okay. So it is. That's what it is. Post race blues.
Yeah, and it doesn't help that you will be fatigued as well. Because let's face it, if
Yeah,
your body's tired, that's going to have an effect on your brain.
massively.
To be honest, I'd probably use it as a reflection period and start looking back. Hence why after the backyard ultra, I got you to do those 3 positives and 3 negatives because that's a good
Yeah,
exercise to do just to learn from it and reflect over it.
yeah,
Don't make any big decisions after a race. After a big effort, don't do it. Just give it a week. Just sit in it for a
uh,
week.
yeah. So don't go
Oh,
run out and book another.
yeah. Yes, don't book 2 ultras in
2 weeks
2
apart.
weeks. Yeah.
All right. Right, very good. Okay. So we have had a couple of questions come in. Anything else you want to say about training?
Um, ignore influencers on social media. Ignore the.
Oh God.
Can I swear on this?
Not.
Okay.
Not the F bomb. Let's keep it.
Yeah. Ignore the rubbish that some of them come out with, because some of it is just laughable. And it's not just about running. It can be about anything. I mean, I hate some of the things I see online, even when it just comes to things like weight loss and stuff like that. I can't stand it.
Absolutely.
So yeah, just ignore what influencers are saying. Even if they've got a six pack, it doesn't mean they know what they're talking about.
You can have a six pack. Whilst you might be strong, you may not be able to go out and run 50
Yeah.
kilometers. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
Instagram is a great tool. It can also be absolutely horrendous. It can be like my Instagram. I mean, I talked about that in my very first podcast. I set my Instagram up as a way of keeping me accountable and following my journey from where I come from to where I am. And I do look back. Yeah. And I think for people like us, that sounds terrible. That's a good thing and a positive thing. But some people have messaged me, and especially when I was doing that, my sub 50 10K, a couple of people messaged me and said, I'm watching your pace and it's and I'm stagnant in my own running, and I'm like, please don't do that. Do not compare yourself to me, because where I am in this is my journey, that's your journey. And I definitely try to never ever compare myself to anybody. I did that at the very, very beginning when I set up Instagram, when I set that Instagram page. I mean, I have a private Instagram page as well that only my family are on, because that's where I share photos of the girls, because I will never put anything family orientated or anything like that on that Instagram page. But oh my God, I compared myself unbelievably to everybody else. It was oh my God, why? How are they doing it? And you have to learn to not do that. Definitely.
Yeah, you do.
Because a lot of it's bullshit. It is bullshit. And that's why, for me, that's why I put my highs and my lows, because that's how I'm feeling at that time. And I mean, I put a post up on Wednesday, and my God, I could not move. I was so tired. And that for me was a low point at that time. And I thought, well, if I'm going to share the highs, I'm going to share the lows. And that was a very low point in that training, in my training.
But I wouldn't class that as a low point. I just class that as recovery. That's just you. That's just your body saying, no, not today. And I've had it.
I'm not doing it.
And I've done some stupid things when I've been ill. I mean,
yeah.
I remember a few years ago, I'm certain I had COVID, and I raced up Snowdon with it. My wife was saying to me, don't do it. And I was like, I know you're right, but I'm going to do it anyway. So yeah, I wouldn't say it was a low. I'd say it was just, you've done two big efforts in, what was it, 3 weeks? Yeah. You're going to be tired at the end of the day. And it was it looked like a bloody tough race you did last week.
It was very tough. Did I mention it was 50 kilometers?
You did, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, a few times when you were messaging me to check the tracker to see how far you were and what have you. So
I thought, if anybody's going to know, Colin's going to know.
Yeah. Yes, I was watching.
Where am I now, Colin?
Yeah, that's it. First Irish lady.
First Irish lady. I was the
Still first. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, don't compare yourself to other people. And Instagram is either a great tool to share your story and share your your journey. But yeah.
And if anyone's got any questions, just feel free to ask me. I'm quite happy to.
Absolutely.
I'd rather interact with people on Instagram. I'm not one of these coaches that will slide into DMs and try and sell you a plan. If you just want to ask me a question, I'll answer it for you.
100%. Good. That's what it's about. Right. Okay. So we've had a couple of questions then. A couple of them, okay, yeah, and then a couple of them are like, but we'll
okay.
answer them anyway. Right. Half marathon pacing and nutrition.
Okay.
So that was the question. How talk half marathon pacing? It depends on the person and their ability.
Yeah, to begin with.
Yeah. And their training.
The surface, is it a road? Is it a trail? So
let's assume it's a road half marathon.
Yeah, I mean, end of the day, if you've got a time in mind, then you split that time down into what mile or kilometer, per hour pace that would be, and you have to train at that pace or over that pace, basically to make that pace feel more comfortable, and you can maintain it for 13 odd miles or 21k, whichever, pick your poison. You can be doing it. So you've got to train to that pace. You've got to be pretty in tune with it. And like I said, just practice it. Can't really answer that any other way. It's quite a difficult one. But
speed work.
Yeah, that is it. So you've got your shorter intervals where you're probably going to be going faster than what you would be, but then you can do some longer intervals, which is going to build up that staying power at that pace.
Mm-hmm.
So, and again, I do intervals on a time-based system. So you could do, your 4 minutes at a faster pace, but then double that and do 8 minutes at a slower pace. But that slower pace is going to be what you're going to be trying to maintain for a whole half marathon. So there's ways to do it. In terms of nutrition, first of all, practice it. Don't just buy some. I wouldn't buy SIS anyway because it's rank from Tesco. But practice. Find out what works for you, and practice it through training. The general rule is, I normally say between 60 and 90 grams of carbs per hour. Mm-hmm. How you go about getting that is a very personal thing. And I'm still working on it myself. I'm not whiter than white. Currently, that 75 miles, I didn't touch a single energy gel. I did it all off raw food. But I had a base where every 4 miles I could come back to. I wouldn't be able to do that on a, if it was a 75 mile point to point, I've got to carry stuff.
Point to point. Yeah.
So there's various different gels. You're the ambassador for one of them. So if you want to pimp your
protein rebel
code out, that's I use them amongst a couple of others. I use Tailwind, again that's some calories, but your electrolytes as well. So there's loads of different stuff, but try it out in training. Don't try anything on race day.
Don't do it on race day. I like that Centurion one that I just done. I didn't use any gels.
Okay, good.
I done it. I had what was my drinks? I was drinking electrolytes. I was drinking High Five, and Tailwind, High Five and Tailwind, and then I used the aid stations, and I had a cheese sandwich and had jelly babies. Literally what I'd done it on, and I was fine. So I didn't feel the need to touch my gels, but I always had them on me for just in case that I needed a boost or something. So yeah, it is. I will carry them with me on the lap, but I probably will do that again on the lap with my nutrition and just kind of get to from aid station to aid station and don't dick about in the aid station.
That's a polite way you've put it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's it. Get in and out. Get in and out. Know what you're doing. Get in and out.
Absolutely. So yeah, so that is probably what I am going to do at the lap as well. Aid station to aid station and take it like that.
And the
Because
good thing
that
is by doing it,
worked for me.
and also by doing it that way, you're breaking the race down into smaller chunks, which makes it easier to manage as well. So in your head, it's not, it's not a 50k race. It becomes, I don't know, a 10k race to the next aid station, for argument's sake. And then you can even break that down. 10k is that run I do on a, on an easy run, like.
Yeah,
so
I know.
It's mentally it starts to become easier.
It becomes easier. I know what 10k looks like. I know what 10k looks like. I know what 10k is. I know how long 10k is going to take me. All right, granted, it'll take you a little bit longer if you're heading uphill than it would be if you were out running on a road. So, but you know what 10k looks like. If you're going uphill, it is going to take you a wee bit longer. And that's the way I managed that 50k that I'd just done. Even though 27k in, I wanted to hand my tracker in. But you get through it. You get through it.
Yep.
Okay. It's a personal thing. Nutrition is a personal thing, really, and how it sits on your stomach and how you're able to deal with it yourself. Okay.
Yeah.
Second question. I really don't know where this has come from, but how do you deal with abusive trainees? I mean,
I've only got one.
What is Tim doing to you?
I've only got one that sends me abuse. The rest of them are actually really nice to me. So
I'm like that.
It's water off a duck's back. To be honest with you, yeah, it's water off a duck's back. We've known each other long enough now that you can say certain things to me, and I'm not going to bat an eyelid. I'm not a particularly overly sensitive person, so
absolutely,
yeah, it makes me chuckle. It's normally when I get a voice note come through, I'm like, oh, this is going to be good, but I can't listen to this on speakerphone with the boys
children around.
Yeah, there's going to be swear words. So
what are you talking about? I don't swear. What am I doing?
The thing is though, you make up for it when you do things like you did on Wednesday morning, because that really had me in stitches that day.
What did I do on Wednesday morning?
With the treadmill.
Oh, I was so angry at myself. Oh my God. Right. I'll tell everybody. Colin had set me an incline hike on the treadmill. I felt good. I was on the treadmill and I was going for it. I beasted it. Incline intervals. And I set my watch to run intervals rather than treadmill intervals. I didn't realize that there was, you didn't tell me. Because I went into my run setting and then I went into my workout setting. I didn't realize you could get your interval setting on your treadmill. You didn't tell me, Colin.
If I told you to swim, what would you choose? If it said swim on the plan,
the backstroke.
Right. So to answer your question, all the abuse I get when something like that happens, that does make me chuckle. And yes, I've screenshotted that data because that's just brilliant. That's not going away anywhere.
Hey, Colin.
Yeah.
Right. On the Barclays. So Jasmine Paris has just completed it.
Yeah.
Woman. Oh my God. I think I love her a wee bit more now. 59, 58, 21.
It's amazing. Wow. The thing is, though, I think this year's becoming really good for ultras, though, isn't it? Because we had Jack Scott in January. And obviously, Mark Derbyshire in the Arc.
And the Arc, yeah.
Now Jasmine, I think there's going to be some good stuff this year.
Absolutely. 100%. I can't believe she made it in with 1 minute and 39 seconds to spare. First woman in history. Boom. Yeah. What a woman. Oh, massive well done to her. I think I need to give her kudos on Strava.
Probably. Well, no, you won't be able
Absolutely.
to. You won't be able to. It's not tracked.
Neither it is. Oh my God, neither it is. Oh, wow.
So,
Anyway, well done.
yeah.
I'm in awe. I'm literally in awe. Wow.
Yeah, I'm looking
Wow.
forward to hearing and listening to her speak about that. That's going to be
Yeah,
good.
that's going to be very, very good. Very, very good. Oh, well done, Jasmine Paris. You
Yeah,
very,
massive well
very
done.
much deserved. Okay, next question. Balance between cardio and strength training. What can you recommend?
I mean, I'm assuming that's coming from a running point of view.
Yeah.
I mean, strength training is important. I think the number one rule is you've got to be able to fit it in when you can, that you can do it consistently. Because doing a leg session once a month isn't going to really do much. So find where you can fit it in. I mean, you can even just do body weight stuff at home if you need to. You know, you don't need to go to a gym to do it. For me personally, I don't really program this in for anyone actually, but I'm a big fan of doubles, as in running in the morning and then strength training in the evening. I'm a big fan of that. You do need to bear in mind that you are going to leave some progression in the strength wise on the table, because you will already be a bit fatigued from the morning session. So how I structure it for me personally is, if I'm going to do a hard session on a Tuesday morning, chances are on that Tuesday evening I'm going to do a leg session, because then I know that the Wednesday it'll be a rest day or an easy run or a cross training day. So I can absorb as much as I can from that. Not everyone can do that, and I fully get that. That's a time commitment, that some people can't or don't want to do, which is understandable. So yeah, just fit it in when you can. But consistency is key, and that's the basis of any training. The running has got to be consistent as well. It's hard to fit it all in. There's 24 hours in a day. Unfortunately, we have to go to work, we have to sleep, we have kids to deal with, we have loads of other stuff that has to come first. But you can get around it. Do it at home is a really good way. You can do loads of exercises just in your living room watching TV. You can just get a chair. If you want to get some progression, get a kettlebell. You can start adding some weight then. If you've got kids, pick up your kid and do some squats.
Exactly. I squat sometimes with Hattie on my back.
And the best thing with kids is that it's only going to get heavier. So, they ain't going to get lighter. Believe me.
And you know what? She loves it. She loves climbing on my back whilst I'm squatting. She's like, oh, yeah.
My eldest still comes in the garage to this day and does stuff. I mean, normally he's swinging on something when he's in the garage. Like, I've got rings, so he'll be like, or just hanging, see how long he can hang for. So yeah, get your kids involved with it.
Absolutely. It teaches them as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Right. Last question, Colin. I'm laughing.
Go on then.
I'm laughing, of course. I'm laughing. I laugh at everything. Should you give Erin more burpees just for fun?
Probably, yeah.
Hey, person.
Probably. To be fair, I don't think I've given you a burpee for a while.
You haven't given me a burpee for a while. The last time I had a burpee off you was when you were doing those OCR workouts for me.
Yeah.
I haven't had an OCR workout for quite some time.
Because you haven't booked an OCR. So
all right.
If you want some burpees, I can put some burpees in. I can happily program in an incline treadmill session and then some burpees, in the rest of the intervals. I can happily do that.
The incline treadmill work is more than enough. I hate the incline treadmill work. Really do. I hate incline work, but I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love seeing the benefits of it. I really, really
Yeah,
do.
this is it. I took a bit of flack earlier on this year about saying using the treadmill. Sorry if that offended some people, but it's a tool. Use it.
I don't see. I don't. I mean, would I rather be out on the hills doing incline work? Yeah, yeah, I would. But you know what I have found since getting the treadmill? And I get up at the same time every morning to get my run done, to get a workout done, whatever. But since getting the treadmill, it's in the conservatory, and we have massive glass doors where we can see into the living room. And the girls come down in the morning, and I'm there. I'm
Yeah,
not just coming. I'm not just. So for me, at that aspect of it, it's nice that I'm at home. I'm not just coming in the door as they're getting up. They're coming down and they're seeing me there, and I'm there whilst they're getting up out of bed. So yeah,
yeah, that's it.
but
And
that
at the end of the
aspect
day,
of it for me is nice. I like that.
the thing is, though, would it be better to actually go out and train on the type of hill you're going to be racing on? Of course, it would. Does
Of course,
everyone have access to that?
no,
No.
of course they don't.
Where I live, if I want to run uphill for more than 4 minutes, I've got to drive half an hour
Yeah,
to get somewhere. Now,
and that's
you
taking
add that,
time out of your day as well. And
that's it. So you're restricting that to a weekend straight away or an evening, you
yeah,
know, when it gets light. So that's an hour traveling, an hour's workout. That's 2 hours away from my family.
yeah,
What am I going to do? Not do a long run to compensate for that? So
yeah,
you've got to fit it in. So
exactly.
yeah, I think it's a tool. Use it. Don't get me wrong. There are times I am running up and down a hill for 4 minutes, up and down, up and down, up and down, for 45 minutes to an hour, and I'll do it.
Yeah,
But there are other times in the week where I can just go on and be done in 40 minutes and just
yeah,
have run uphill for 40 minutes if I choose to. So yeah, it's a tool. Use it, but it has something
exactly.
good to watch.
Yeah. I mean, I've been
So
watching YouTube videos.
see, I don't like the adverts that come up with them. That it
They're
annoys me.
annoying.
So that's why I'm working my way through 24 again.
He's still on 24. How
It's,
many times is
it's
this?
well, I mean,
Is
I
this
don't
your
know. It's probably
seventh
like
time watching 24 now?
probably.
Oh
I've watched
God.
them a lot. I love 24. Hey, they don't make TV like that anymore. That is classic.
Oh God. Well, maybe I need to watch 24. I've not actually watched it. Maybe I need to
Do it.
watch 24 whilst I'm on the
It
treadmill.
it is addictive. It is
Like,
addictive.
all right, you know what? I might just
Really
start
good.
watching it. No, do you know, no. I'd rather just put my headphones in and put some music on and just zone out and get it done.
Put it on your phone.
I know,
Disney
but I
Plus on
don't.
your
I
phone.
don't like. I don't like looking down. I rather have like look up and
Right. So it's in front of a conservatory. You got a conservatory door in front of you, yeah?
yeah. And there's
Get a
and then you get a suction cup.
suction phone holder.
A
That's
suction
what I've
cup.
got. I've got a little mini tripod that's on a shelf in front of my treadmill, so it's just
Ah.
in my face.
Smart
So
thinking.
I know it's not just a hat rack, not just a hat rack.
Very good, very good. So, other than your 100-mile race in September, that's the Hobo pace.
Yep, Robin Hood 100.
Yeah, the Hobo 100. Have you any plans to be training for anything else next year?
I I'd like to sign up for the ARC 50 in January. Go
Yes.
see how things go the next sort of few weeks. See if I can do that or not.
Yeah.
But my overriding thing that I want to do at the moment is a Bob Graham. That's the that tops any race as far as I'm
Yeah.
concerned. Just being able to do that.
Excellent.
I don't know why I want to do it. Just like I didn't know why I wanted to climb all the Wainwrights, but I want to do it. So
It's your why not?
yeah,
I
yeah,
am a firm believer in why not.
yeah.
Not what
Just
if.
doing things like that excites me more than any race, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So,
I suppose
so
the Bob
sorry, go on.
Graham is the big one at the moment, but that's not going to be. I
That
don't
was going to be
think
my
I'll even
question.
think about doing an attempt until 2026 because.
Okay.
Uh,
So will you spend all of 2025 training for that? If
uh,
you get on, do the arc, will you then come off the arc and start? Because that's going to be a massive training
yeah,
block for that.
the races there's only three races that I really want to do next year. One of them is the Arc 50, the other is the South Downs Way 100, and the other one is a race called the Grand Tour of Skiddaw, again up in the Lake District. Those are the only ones I really, really want to do. But I'm prepared to sacrifice one of them and not do it.
Yeah.
So I can get up and recce
For the
the
Bob
legs of the
Graham.
Bob Graham.
Excellent.
So
So
yeah,
when you
that's the
start
plan
recceing,
anyway.
you let me know.
I will. I've been told.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to ask this question to everybody that comes on the podcast. You're on a long run and you're not feeling it. What do you do? Do you keep going or do you stop?
Keep going.
Obviously.
If I'm honest with you, how I don't.
How do you
When I
get through
plan
that
on.
whenever you?
Change what I'm listening to.
So you're
If
listening
I'm
to.
a lot of the time I'll listen to an audiobook when I run.
Okay.
Particularly a long run, it'll be an audiobook, so I can kind of just switch off and just have that on in the background. If I need a bit of a kick up the ass, I'll put some house music on.
Okay.
I mean, I'll end up running a lot quicker because
Yeah.
of the music,
The beat.
but yeah, that will get me going again.
Yeah.
Or the other one is just thinking, if you want to do these things, you got to put the effort in to do it.
You got to put the effort in to do it.
You know,
Absolutely. 100%. 100%. What are you listening to at the minute?
audiobook
What's your,
wise,
yeah.
I'm listening to or re-listening to a book called Marching Powder, which is about
What's that about?
someone who is in a Bolivian prison because he got arrested smuggling cocaine in the border, and basically the prison. It's a true story.
Oh, okay.
Marching Powder, and basically the prison. It's weird. You've got to like buy your own prison cell. You can own a shop in there. You can have businesses in there. They manufacture cocaine in the prison.
Oh, wow. Okay. And this is a true
It's
story.
it is
This is a true
insane.
story.
Yeah, it is insane. I listened to it
Okay.
the first time about 4 years ago, and I've still got an Audible. And I was like, yeah, I'll give that another listen. And yeah, it is. It's an insane story, but
That
really good and
that sounds
entertaining.
that sounds insane. Favorite type of music to listen to when you're on a run? House music, like say.
House music. Yeah.
Don't lie, Colin. You love a bit of Spice Girls. A bit
If
of
I really
Shania
want to
Twain.
feel, if I really want to feel down, yeah, I suppose I might come on.
Oh, stop! You love singing along to "Man, I Feel Like a Woman."
Yeah.
Bit of Shania.
Nah, some 80s disco will make its way in there sometimes. You can't beat
80s
80s
disco.
music.
Absolutely, absolutely. Right. Anything else you want to add in regards to training or?
No, like I said, just reiterate. If anyone wants to ever ask me any questions, feel free just to ask away. I don't mind.
And it's trail running dude _ coaching
Yeah,
on
that's
Instagram.
the coaching page, or
That's your coaching page.
or the main one that I generally post more on is just trail running dude. So
And that's
either
your
one of
running
them.
page.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, feel free to message me, and yeah, just for you, just carry on doing what you do with the podcast, with the with the running club. Keep going. It looks like you're
Oh
trying to do
yeah.
something really good.
Hopefully, fingers crossed. We have to see. I'm not really. I've got Haley. on the running club to try and get that on the go. See how that kind of takes off. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I like it. It's fun.
Yeah,
I'm enjoying it.
that's it.
And you've been making
Good.
regular appearances on the podcast.
Well, just
The more we get
if
into
if
training for the arc, I'm
yeah,
looking forward for that one.
yeah, if you ever want me on, just ask and I'll come on. It's not a problem.
Right, I will let you go. Thank you for joining me on the third episode of This Mama Runs podcast.
No, my pleasure. Thank you for having me
You've
on.
been a star. Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you for tuning in to the third episode of This Mama Runs podcast, recording it with Colin. I had such a laugh recording it with him and finding out a wee bit more about RPE training and, well, what Colin's getting up to as well. You can find me on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and on YouTube. Please hit the like and subscribe button, and I really hope you have enjoyed listening to this episode. Thanks.